Good morning. I would like to introduce our first speaker today, the Chair of our Board, Joe Dales.
It's my real pleasure this morning to welcome our honored guests on behalf of the Western Fair members, association members, and our board. In 1867, a group of community-minded leaders came together to form the Western Fair Association, to work together to improve the social and economic prospects of London and our agricultural region. More than 150 years later, we know they'd be very proud of what we're accomplishing here in the Western Fair District. We have a sustainable, community-based organization that draws millions of people per year to our site in the City of London and the area, creates significant economic activity and jobs. We're very proud of our diversified set of commercial activities. They range from the market across the street in the beautiful Confederation Building, one of the leading horse racing tracks in North America. We encourage everyone to come visit us if you haven't been to the races. A busy sportsplex where we draw hockey teams from around the world and thousands of visitors every weekend, when there's a tournament in town. Also a strong portfolio of industry-leading trade shows like our farm show, which is one of the best in North America. And then you know us for our entertainment offerings, which are headlined by the annual Western Fair that draws people from the city, from the country to the city as well. We have deep roots in helping the economic prosperity of our city and our neighboring communities. And many of our Western Fair Association members are here today, and they range from organizations like 4-H and Middlesex Soil and Crop, and they connect us with some of the best farmers and most productive farmland in the world. These roots are strong, and they're based on bringing people together in a sense of community to accomplish great things, to share, to build, and to work together. There's a lot of people in this room, some from the city, some from our neighboring community, and I think one of the things that makes me very proud to be involved in Western Fair is our openness and welcoming guests. And I'd like you to all take a minute now and stand up and introduce yourself to your neighbors, especially a couple people that are around you that you don't know. So everybody stand for 1 minute. Indulge me, please. Thank you very much. After the formal presentations, I would welcome you and encourage you to meet more people. Several years ago, the board and our staff started an intensive strategic planning process and review. We looked at our strengths and our weaknesses. We reviewed the market trends and opportunities. We visited and hosted experts from across North America to develop a strategic plan for the next future of our organization, which diversified and grows our revenue streams. I'd like to thank our board, the leadership of Reg Ash, and acknowledge the tremendous contributions of Hugh Mitchell and Mike Woods, who championed this strategic planning process, and also the support of our passionate team of employees who are here and other stakeholders. We thank you for your contributions. On December of last year, 2018, it was announced the casino would be relocating. That triggered greater clarity and focus of our plans, and especially this new component of our strategic business activities. So today we take the opportunity to return to our roots and share some interesting ideas and a future vision. The Western Fair Association, as you know, has amazing tangible and intangible assets. And we are revitalizing these assets by repurposing and redeploying them to create a thriving ecosystem focused on the agriculture and food industry, supporting an innovation and technology strategy. Today, we share a glimpse of our vivid vision for the future. We see a series of buildings and a location with so many possibilities. We see a community, both city and rural, with people with so much potential. As we look out into the future, we see a vibrant hub, a connector, a cluster of global leading companies in the agriculture and food space with clients around the world. We see new companies creating hundreds of jobs and purposeful growth for the good of our city and surrounding communities. We are pleased to introduce this strategic initiative, and it is called The Grove at Western Fair District. It is now my pleasure It is now my great pleasure to introduce our CEO of the Western Fair, Mr. Reg Ash, to share some more information.
Thank you. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. You have been invited today because you are part of the communities that we serve, and we feel you will play a part in the initiative that we have just announced. I have been with the association for nearly 2 decades, continuing the legacy of our 150-year-old Agricultural Society's long-held mission and successfully upholding both its principles and its vision into a new era is not an easy task. Fortunately, I am up to it. As an association, we have been challenged over and over with war, with fire, with recessions and depressions, with changing times and changing attitudes. Challenges that created a culture of innovation in our organization. We find opportunity in every challenge. As you know, Western Fair Association is currently in the midst of more change. We have begun repositioning ourselves to support new agricultural strategies, fully utilize our facilities, enhance our racing product, and generate new revenue streams to support our mission. For over 150 years, the Western Fair Association has stood shoulder to shoulder with innovators in economic prosperity and food security. That legacy continues. Today, our organization is excited to invite the next generation of entrepreneurs, educators, and leaders to join us to bring new agriculture and food businesses to life, to bring new products and technologies to market, and to learn and lead from the Grove, an exciting hub of space, resources, and opportunity. What is the Grove at Western Fair District? The Grove is part of a re-envisioned, agriculturally focused business strategy to ensure the Western Fair Association remains valued and relevant to the communities that it serves. The Grove is the district's agribusiness hub where participants share resources, space, and connections to create the right conditions for innovation, education, and growth. The Grove repurposes buildings like the one we're sitting in today, provides access to resources like business services and talent, and connects participants through networks, thought leaders, and education. All of these serve the deep agricultural roots of the Western Fair Association in a new way. Why are we calling it the Grove? Well, the original grounds of the association included a grove of huge pine and oak trees that were known as Salters Grove. We pay respects to our historical roots. A grove of trees forms small clusters, congregating together to form a tight community that share resources such as soil and water, and we feel it is the perfect name to give to our new agribusiness unit as we share, learn, and grow. How will the Grove provide value to the region, the country, and the world? Through 4 guiding pillars. The Grove will continue our tradition of building community, bringing people and food together. The Grove will lead through symposiums, conferences, and supporting science and innovation. The Grove will be partners in education with institutions, organizations, and industry developing tomorrow's leaders. And finally, the Grove will connect. It will connect people, producers, and farmers, creating the right conditions for innovation and growth. To help us continue to tell the story of the Grove and why it's right for agri-food right now, please let me introduce you to one of our first members of the Grove, the London Middlesex Food Policy Council, represented by Mr. Paul Shand.
Well, good morning. This is an exciting day for London and an exciting day for the London Middlesex Food Policy Council. We are so grateful to be included in this announcement of the Grove, and we look forward to growing our relationship with the Western Fair Association and others through this initiative. We are a volunteer organization that started in the later part of 2017 when the first council was created. The Middlesex London Food Policy Council came about because there was a need for improvement in the Middlesex London food systems. Many groups, including the Western Fair District, the Middlesex London Health Unit, the London Food Bank, the London Community Foundation, the City of London, Middlesex County, and many others, worked towards the Middlesex London Community Food Assessment that found we were ready for a Food Policy Council. Our mission is to be a forum for discussing local food issues, empower citizens to be involved in food system decisions, foster coordination between sectors in the food system, create, evaluate, and influence policy, and support programs and services that address local needs. The Grove is especially exciting for the Food Policy Council now because we are at a critical point in our future. When we first started, we quickly recognized that in Middlesex London, there is a passion for building community and particularly for improving the food systems in our community. We are surrounded by some of the best farmland in the world. Exciting new products are developed here, and we have been able to attract large food producers to our city. Middlesex London is becoming a major center for food growth and innovation. We are lucky that many organizations are doing meaningful work in diverse areas like food insecurity, food recovery, food literacy, education and training, urban agriculture, and more. But there are opportunities to improve communication and organization between these groups and sectors. The Food Policy Council is actively working to build awareness about the work that is being done around food in our community and to develop relationships with the farmers and organizations who are doing that work. The Grove represents a unique and incredibly valuable opportunity for the Middlesex London Food Policy Council to develop synergies, foster cooperation, and network with the food community to improve our relationships, to innovate, and for the Food Policy Council to be a meaningful resource for folks from every part of the food system, whether they're a grower, a producer, a distributor, a service provider, an educator, a consumer, or all of the above. We are honored to be included in today's announcement, and we are excited for the opportunities that the Grove will create. Thank you.
To grow the Grove in front of your eyes, please let me connect you with the next exciting member of the Grove, Live Fit Foods, represented by their CEO, Mr. Nick Spina.
Thanks, Reg. I'm going to tell you the short story of how Live Fit started and where we are going. It all began back in July of 2015. I was working a crazy amount of hours with my previous venture. I had no time to cook healthy meals for myself. Eating healthy is a priority for me. I actually ended up getting takeout at a local restaurant almost twice a day. Salmon rice and broccoli, I'll never forget it. It got pretty unsustainable for me. I needed to find a better solution to my problem. I thought of hiring my own personal chef to cook my meals for me. I couldn't find anything on Google, but I knew there must be busy people just like myself looking for a solution to the same problem. This is when the real light bulb went off. I pulled out my pen and paper and started drafting up the first plan for Live Fit. The idea was to deliver fresh, chef-cooked meals that fit your lifestyle directly to your doorstep. I figured if we sold high volumes of food, we would get volume discounts from suppliers. If this idea was to come to life, I would need to hire a good chef. My friend, Chef Matthew, was the first person to come to mind. He was working as the head chef at a local restaurant when I reached out to him with my crazy idea. He loved the idea so much that he left his position to work at LiveFit. After getting the green light from Chef Matthew, I dubbed my parents' living room as their first office and rented out a friend's restaurant kitchen when they weren't open to cook our food in. After securing a rental kitchen, building a website, a mobile app, and basically stealing my parents' living room, we were officially open for business. I started asking friends if they'd like to order, and it quickly blossomed from there. Fast forward to 9 months ago, a lot had happened. We had grown to deliver over 20,000 meals a week across Ontario, with over 120 staff. We had already outgrown 2 of our own production facilities, and we were desperately looking to open a third larger facility to produce our meals in so we could keep up with the growing demand. We started looking around in London and Toronto for available space to open our new home in. We had looked at a lot of options, mainly in Toronto, but Toronto didn't feel right. I was born and raised in London. London will always be my home. And there's such a phenomenal community here that I love being a part of. Candace Campbell from the London Economic Development Corporation had reached out to me shortly after we started looking for space to see if I was interested in looking at potential space available here at the Western Fair District. The timing was perfect. We ended up meeting with Mike Woods from the Western Fair team the same day. As we were walking through potential space at the Western Fair District, Mike was telling me what their vision and goals were, and it lined up with ours perfectly. Today, I'm excited to announce our plans with the Western Fair District. LiveFit will be opening our new headquarters, a state-of-the-art 30,000 square foot food production facility here at the Grove this upcoming January. We're creating over 200 new jobs here in London over the next 7 months, and over 450 jobs over the next few years. I'm also very excited to announce our plans to expand across Canada this upcoming January and across the United States over the next 9 months. Our new home here at the Grove will have the ability to produce over 11 million meals annually, and will have the ability to deliver to almost every household across Canada and the United States within 24 hours. I want to thank everyone in the room for being here for this special moment. I want to thank the Western Fair team. It has been a pleasure to work with you. Thank you to Candace Campbell from the London Economic Development Corporation for connecting us. Thank you to my team at LiveFit. You guys are incredible. And a big thank you to my parents for letting me steal your living room. This has been such an honor. I'm excited for what the future has for all of us. Thank you.
Congratulations, Nick. That is wonderful news. Now, with a few words from the City of London, Deputy Mayor Jesse Helmer.
Well, thank you very much, Reg. And if I'd known I was following Nick and what he was going to say, I'm not sure I would have gone next. That was amazing, and we are so proud of the work that you're doing, Nick. I know there's a number of members of your team here from LiveFit, and it's just tremendously exciting what you're doing as a company, and we need to see lots of that happening in London. It's just a tremendous homegrown success story. I want to say congratulations. To the Western Fair, I just want to talk briefly about the Western Fair and the relationship with the city, because I think it's a very important one and it goes back a long way. I was glad that Joe started with the history. I mean, this is a pre-Confederation organization dating back a long time, and it is the union of East Middlesex and London. So 2 organizations came together to start the Western Fair Association. And I think that is an important thing because it has transferred through time that collaboration between the rural parts of the area and the city. And I think our relationship, if you think back to the more modern partnership between the city and Western Fair, which dates back to, say, 1966, where we have this kind of common partnership on the lands and the buildings here. That has been a very strong relationship, and it's been a strong relationship because our partners at the Western Fair have acted with integrity. They've always been straight with what they were wanted to do. They have always followed their mission, and they've been great partners to work with. They have seen, as it was discussed, a lot of change, and I know there's a lot of farmers in the room. I'm not sure any group has seen as much change as farmers over the last 150 so years. It's just been a business that has tremendously changed over time. And I think the Western Fair as an association, agricultural association, has also seen a huge amount of change. This new direction, in some ways, is just a return back to the roots. And I think that that's really exciting. I know when the casino decided to relocate to South London, a lot of folks in this area, I'm also the councillor for this area, and a lot of folks were a little afraid. You know, what's going to happen? What does that mean for this area? And I have to say, I was not afraid. I had a lot of confidence in Reg and the team at Western Fair that they were going to figure out something new, they're going to see opportunity there, and they're going to find something exciting for the future of the association. I think that's exactly what we're seeing with the Grove. I can't wait to see what else might come out of this initiative. It is very well aligned with the city's urban agriculture strategy. Obviously, most of the agriculture is happening in the rural parts of the city and outside of London, but there is a role for urban agriculture, and I think this kind of facility, where you're doing production, distribution, education, and connecting people in with the process of creating and distributing food, that is tremendously important in terms of bridging the urban and rural parts of our society. And I think that we can see lots of great things happening here at the Western Fair and at the Grove. I will say that as a partner in the local community, the Western Fair has been exceptional. Where everyone is sitting right now, just a few months ago, I was in here with a few volunteers from the community sorting through all the goods that had been donated to help the families who were affected by the Woodman explosion. There were literally piles and piles and piles of goods that have been donated, and Western Fair just made the facility available because they knew there was a need, and they just stepped up. And I think that shows the kind of attitude they bring to every project. We are tremendously proud of the Western Fair. I can't wait to see what happens here. I know that my colleagues, I saw Councillor Hillier and Councillor Squire at the very least, we are very supportive of what's happening at the Western Fair at City Council. I know that the Mayor, Ed Holder, is very supportive. We look forward to seeing all the exceptional things that are going to come. And I want to thank Randy Pettipies, who I think is speaking next, for being here today. He's the MPP. And I want to say it's important that we all are supporting what's happening at the Western Fair, all different levels of government, because it is a really important organization in our community.
Thank you. Mr. Pettipies, MPP for Perth Wellington.
Well, thank you. It's certainly great to be here today, and this is a great time of the year. Fall is one of my favorite times of the year because when I was driving down from Listowel today, the combines hadn't started yet, but they're all getting ready, and you can see the harvest coming off, and it's just a great time to be in Ontario. And when I was introduced to Nick over here, I was introduced to him as a rock star. And you know he really is. And I just want to say, Mick Jagger's got nothing on you. So thanks everyone for being here this morning. As the Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, I'm pleased to be here today at the Western Fair District for today's announcement. And I am pleased to represent our Minister, the Honourable Ernie Hardeman. Minister Lisa Thompson asked me to send her best wishes as well. As Minister Hardeman was unable to be here, he asked me to share his and our government's support for today's announcement. We begin a new, exciting chapter in the history of Western Fair Association today. The chapter centered on a major asset to the agri-food and agribusinesses in the province of Ontario, the Grove. First and foremost, I want to thank the volunteers and staff here at Western Fair District. Their commitment and dedication to developing and promoting the agriculture industry has made today's announcement possible. The Western Fair District and the Western Fair Association have long been an integral part of agriculture in southwestern Ontario. In fact, the association has been a cornerstone of the agriculture community even before Confederation. A cornerstone that has brought together urban and rural communities to celebrate and promote agriculture. The association has showcased the role of farming not only plays in feeding our communities, but keeping them strong and viable. In particular, the Western Fair itself has entertained generations of families. In many instances, it has been our youth's first exposure to the farming world. But the Western Fair Association has not only bridged the urban and rural gap, it has also been of tremendous economic benefit to southwestern Ontario. That tradition continues with today's announcement of the Grove at Western Fair District. Today's announcement is a tribute to the association's rich past while also solidifying their role in shaping the future of agriculture. The Grove will be a hub in the agriculture sector, one that serves to educate Ontario's youth, connect various sectors of agri-food and agribusinesses, and inspire innovation. It will help develop a future that includes developing new technology, driving prosperity, and helping ensure food security for all Ontarians. The 4 pillars of the Grove's purposes are connect, lead, community, and educate. The Grove will bring together agri-food businesses, producers, educators, entrepreneurs, and leaders. It will bring these groups together to carry out those 4 pillars and lead the way in agriculture. It will help tackle the challenges of today while inspiring the leaders of tomorrow. The Grove will play a key role in bridging the gap between rural and urban communities. It will not only inform Ontarians where their food comes from, but the opportunities that agriculture provides. Far too many students in Ontario are unaware of the opportunities that exist in agriculture. Opportunities not only for careers and to innovate, but to make a difference in their communities. Our government is committed to advocating for Ontario's agriculture sector and promoting all opportunities that exist in the sector. We are focused not only on current sustainability, but ensuring the sector remains the hub of innovation. On behalf of myself, the Minister, and the government, congratulations on the opening of the Grove. I look forward to continuing to work alongside the Western Fair Association and now the Grove as well. Again, thank you for everyone for being here today at today's announcement. I look forward to being back again to experience all the Grove has to offer. Thank you.
Okay, so you've heard from a few people and organizations today why the Grove is the right catalyst for current and aspiring agribusiness entrepreneurs in our region, Canada, and ultimately the world. You've heard why the Grove has the ability to enhance agri-food relationships and educate our community on how to contribute to a sustainable local food system. How the Western Fair District space, resources, and people can be committed to a bright, meaningful future and agricultural mission, continuing to successfully uphold its vision, principles, and into a new era. We are grateful for you coming out to support us today and the announcement that we've made. We look forward to connecting with you and the Grove. We are excited to help the right businesses scale up and grow their businesses for larger audiences. We need to hear from those that would like the opportunity to grow with us at the Grove at Western Fair District. You can find out more online. We'll be adding new information to our website in the coming weeks. You can also take a sneak peek of what the Grove could be in a repurposed Progress building. We have planted a few seeds for you to see what the potential could be next door. Nick from Live Fit and his team also have some samples of their product for us to try. Western Fair staff will be available, and you can find them with their badges. Feel free to ask any questions that you may have while you tour the space. And last but not least, be sure to pick up a jar of honey produced from our hives right here in the Grove at Western Fair District. Thank you for coming, and thank you for all those that have tuned in online.